Hello. How's everyone doing? Hey, Kiribati. Good morning, Atski Brother. Well, I like that. Crazy bedhead. Like a rooster's butt. That's nice. Clearly, complete awareness of my own appearances. No idea what this monkey suit looks like, you know. Basic training. We're going back to school. Hey, Ghetto Legend, one Amir, how's it going? So today, we're gonna go back to figure drawing. So I collected some safe for work or moderately safe for work. There's no genitals or things like that shown. We're gonna do some pose sketching, and this URL obviously I will share with you guys. And the copyright to each reference is clearly just Googled. There's some watermarks to the sources, but it was just Googling. So it's hey, Dr. Sheldon. So it's a mix of it's 50-50 men, women. So we can have stuff to of both, best of both worlds. Hey, Quentin. Explotart. Oh God, a tart. Isn't that like a saucy woman in England? Tart, a tart, such a tart. Anyways, we're gonna do that. Poses. I will also post the ref on Discord for those who want to do it at their own pace. Hey, Eric Moy, how's it going? Yeah, so like I said, that's the references if anyone wants to join in. I'm gonna do 5 minutes per pose, which is gonna roughly leave me 5 minutes after in the end, and I'm thinking that was last 5 minutes I'll do mind one. Do one from my own imagination. But I'm warning you, I'm gonna be really, really shitty at it. Or rather rusty, because much like any advanced motions or any advanced things you do, the more you do it, the more the body is used to it, and the more you know how to think and where to be, like in the right pocket in your brain. And as I'm rusty, this is going to be a great, like it's going to dust off the old, I don't know, analogy. Hey Zelin, Captain Boss, how's it going? Eric Moy, my weekend was good. A lot of video games and relaxing. That's the ref for today. We're gonna do studies, 5 minutes per pose. Here we go. And as I love values, I'm gonna do the study in values. First, I'm gonna like try. Oh hey, Captain Boss. Oh shit, yeah. At the milestones. Oh, classic. At milestones, you get a reminder. But yeah, thanks for the reminder. 6 months, man. Hella cool. Okay, so I'm gonna try to. Well, I got 5 minutes. I'm saying that like it's all day. Believe me, 5 minutes. are gonna disappear instantly. Okay, so that's kind of roughly the pose. Hey Ice Die, how's it going? Welcome back. Hey everyone. There's the ref again if you want to join in. I'm gonna paint the poses. Obviously you guys can do them as you want to do them, what you feel comfortable with. I am comfortable with values. So that's why I'm doing it in values. Also, there's an alternative motive why I'm doing the studies in values is because I mostly work in values, and if I would do line art, that wouldn't be the place where I would go for work generally, right? So I want to bridge the gap between the study and the normal everyday application of the knowledge, right? So that I don't want to have to relearn the knowledge here that I'm doing today to the work, right? So there's a reason why I'm going comfort zone, because when I'm doing client work, I'm trying to always stay in comfort zone unless the client is you know, like really pushing for a style I'm not used to. But then I try to get that style, like that recipe of the style, into the comfort zone, so I can just stop thinking about technique and do the work, right? Because I've talked about this before, but that's why you need to do studies. That's why you need to practice. Because when you do practice, you learn about yourself, which is the biggest, most important part of it. To learn how you do things, while you're limiting your flaws in technical aspect, like brush marks, draftsmanship, and all these things. You know, like quality of line and. Hey, Martial Nimbus, welcome back. Hey, Goblin Enthusiast, how's it going? There's the ref again, if anyone wants to contribute. We're gonna do 5 minutes, 5 minutes per pose. Jesus, people. Hey, listen. Wow, Miss Monster, 3 months. Crazy. Why you guys so full of love, man. That's crazy. Again, I truly appreciate the support. Amazing. Love you guys. Every morning. Can't be a better start of the day. Okay, so this shoulder comes forward. I'm making like mental notes of the rotation. I know that one ref down the line is gonna have a center line, which I think is great. That shoulder needs to drop. Her pose here, I'm not nailing that pose. That rotation of the she's like leaning forward. I'm not nailing that at all. But like I said, I'm really rusty in figure drawing, in that sense of doing studies. I mean, obviously I do it for work all day, but it is a little bit different now. And I'm not gonna flip the image, because I feel like that is cheating, because you can't flip it in life drawing. An aberration, yeah, absolutely. A voodoo breakfast. Doing life drawing always, always will improve. If you set the time limit like 5 minutes per pose, yeah. If you do that every day, you'll see huge improvements in poses. Depending on how you do the studies, like in this instance, I'm doing volumes, right? If I would do volume paintings every day, 5 minutes per. Oh, I'm all over, already over time. Shit, guys, come on. Now this will be only a 3-minute one. Gotta keep an eye on the time. Like I said, doing every day volume anatomy studies on poses and or volumes or so on, it'll help. It's one of the best things to do. And if you haven't done it, you need to do it. Because it's such a good thing to do. Okay, 3 minutes, which means I can't go in all fancy pants details here. Two minutes left. God damn it. I overworked that other pose. I should have just. I shouldn't have focused on repairing it. I think that's where the big mistake was. I should have just let it be, right? But it's really good fun. This is really good. Like observational skills and understanding of anatomy, all these things you practice while doing studies like this. When I was working at Sega, I did 1 hour of life drawing every morning before work. I set there was this website that you could have 30 seconds per pose, and I would spend 1 hour doing poses every morning for like a month. And then I was a bit fed up with drawing poses, but it did help me a lot. 1 minute left. It did help me a lot with understanding anatomy and posing, and because at the time, this was quite early on in my career. At the time, I had a hard time understanding poses. Like my poses were very stiff, and I wanted to improve that. So what I did was just, okay, I want better poses. Let's grind poses. And I spent a month every day, an hour every day doing poses. 30 seconds per pose, just mash them out. Kilrathi Soldier, yeah, absolutely. But those free life drawing YouTube vids are not really safe for work for anyone of us watching that's in an office. You know, there's boobies in there. Yeah, my time is over. I need to change. Cheers. It was not Line of Action website. It was, I mean, this was 2007. You know, it's a long time ago. But you can see already Like this is what third pose in. You can already see difference in approach in drawing. This is going to be really fun to go back and look at. How I can already, I can feel the difference in how I draw. Like I'm focusing on different things now compared to first drawing. Like now I'm starting to get into it. And also getting a little bit more used to like the brush drawing in this particular way. It's very interesting. I love this. The fact she's a little bit squashed, but oh, the line of action, right. Hey, Captain Jetlag, how's it going? Yeah, gestures are really good. Like, I love doing gestures. I find it really, really useful. And especially, there's so much things to gain from doing life drawing of models. Like, you can focus on learning anatomy, proportions, volumes, overlaps, all these. There's so much things to learn of just looking at a human. There's a lot of layers to it depending on what you're looking for. But like with all studies, it's really important. 2 minutes left. It's really important to go in the study with a clear like goal. Like, I will practice proportions. I will paint volumes. I will look at overlaps. I need to understand the shoulder system. How does the lower back actually work? All these things. Like, if you don't have a purpose at doing these life drawings and you're just doing, it's a lot of wasted energy and time. I think it's like that with all things. Like, if you don't actively try to learn, like look at something to learn, you're just copying. And then you're practicing copying rather than focusing in on learning something new. For those who want to do, there's the ref. The ref is also posted on Discord, and it will also be posted on the forum. After the fact. Oh, that arm is way off. Really. Oh, next pose. One really good practice to do when you're doing anatomy is, let's say if I would do line drawing, I can actually do one. If you just doing line art, like when you're drawing, you do like overlaps or whatever they're called. The word eludes me at the moment. but like a loop around the volume. Like trying to figure out the direction of the ellipse. Like, are we seeing it from the side, or is it going slightly towards us? Like, if you look at his wrist, it's kind of moving away from us. And here it's kind of going towards us. And if you spend time looking at, like, what's the direction of the neck, for example, I would say we see the top of the ellipse like that a little bit. If you spend time when you're doing the study, and if you're bad at posing, if you spend time looking at the direction of the limbs, like, is it pointing towards us or away from us? There's you'll start to see when you look at the reference how intricate the rotations of all the body parts are, and how much that you're actually missing in posing, because a lot of the time we make everything quite calculated and dead and centered and focused straight from the front. Nothing stops you from making like this arm. If you would draw it ourselves, we would go like, oh, that's too short. But what we don't realize is that we see quite a lot of the ellipse, because the arm is going into the depth. And if we would draw this pose from our mind, we would instantly correct that, because we would go, oh, that's wrong. The arm needs to be as long as the other arm. Like one of the people we rated, I think Monday, she was drawing Spider-Man, and she was struggling with that arm, and she was measuring like the length of the arm with the other arm, even though the arms were at different angles towards the camera. I just wanted to scream at her. It's like, perspective. But I didn't. I think she figured out herself in the end, which was great. But for me, I instantly figured that out. I was like, no. You can't measure each arm. Like, she measured like that, and then she took her hand like this, and like, why are they different lengths? I don't understand. Why does it look wrong? Form lines, let's see. Kind of, but not really. After breakfast. It's just kind of, I don't remember what they're called. They're like cut. Overlaps. No. Not foreshortening, ellipses. But whatever, something like foreshortening ellipses. Let's say foreshortening ellipses. Or cut throughs, or circumference line. Rotation angle. I don't know. Contour lines? Nah. Cross section. Maybe. But cross section is more like a dissecting line, right? Because when you, like, we can see the spine. Okay, next pose. This is my favorite pose. It's cool. Okay. Shoulders too wide. But yeah, man, I could do this all day, every day. It's so good to do, and you learn so much by doing it. And also by like deliberately were looking for challenging poses. Because if you do poses that you're comfortable with, most likely you're not going to step away learning anything. Because those are the things you maybe do normally. Oh, a kid wants to come in. Hey, thanks, Captain Boss. Hey, Weeping Jay, how's it going? Yeah, I wanted good, strong poses, like clean, good, clear lines of action, good points of rotation on the limbs, so we don't get very straight on body parts. Like one of the things with this pose that are challenging is that he's leaning back and he's jutting the hip forward. And if you don't pay attention to that, the proportions is going to feel off. But we are low, looking up at him, plus he's jutting the hip forward. He looks also like a ballerina. Male ballerinas, by the way, are a great source for muscle definitions. They are crazy, crazy toned. If you want to look at muscle definitions, just look at like male ballerinas, whatever they're called. I don't even know if they're called something in specific, but they're shredded. One thing that's important with poses like this is looking at small indicators of rotation. Like, how's the armpit? What's the layers of the muscles in the armpit? Like, which one is in front of the other? And by keeping a track of that, it's easy to figure out, okay, this needs to be rotated that angle. If you mess one of those like anchor points up of what that shows rotation or volume, is a fast way to mess the pose up. Ballerino Pro 42. Yeah, maybe. I don't know actually. Okay, 20 more seconds, then I'm doing my own pose. Oh no. It's gonna be a good challenge. What pose am I doing? Oh no. Oh no. I think that's a great practice as well. Just throw yourself in with the sharks. Hey, thanks for the follow. Alright, time's up. Let's do my own pose. Let's switch the reference up. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna challenge myself. You need to go there. This is gonna be interesting. Okay. Let's not have the head forward. Okay. Okay. Ice die. Yeah, this is now this is my own without reference. Like the last 5 minutes, right? I've done 6 poses, or was it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, without with reference. And to wrap it up, in the last 5 minutes, I'm gonna do a drawing of my own to see kind of what's stuck here already. I made sure to make that overlap correct, like I talked about in the previous pose. Will help my brain to figure out where the volumes are, because I'm making this up. And now I'm referencing the chest muscle of the previous guy I looked at. So I clearly know now, I can clearly notice that I'm actually using some of the knowledge. And now this leg, I'm thinking about the woman, one of the first. She had her leg kind of forward, but the other way. But I was remembering the knee thing. I'm kind of referencing in my brain. Ice die, that's great. That's great, Ice die. Make sure to post it. I mean, if you want to, obviously, but you shouldn't shy away of showing, because maybe someone spots something you weren't aware of, and they will go like, "Oh yeah, you should pay more attention to the center line," or you know. And I would say that the Discord, the warm-up Discord, is a safe space of art experimentations. Well, I don't think it's like portfolio only type of a space. Pro 42. Yeah, for me, I mean, I draw differently on paper. Obviously, like I adjust depending on need. Man, this pose is horrible. But what can you say? I tried my best. I tried my best to use the knowledge of today, even though the pose is broken. What's important is to do the study, right? I learn more by doing than not doing. That's a so stupid pose. Oh man, what can you do? Skipping to buy some donuts. It's interesting. Steely Bob, absolutely. Because we're not machines, right? And this is without practice. You know, this is me just sketching and inviting you guys to sit along for the ride. I'm not ashamed of showing sketching and failing, and because it's a part of the whole journey of learning. And when people don't show that, people get the wrong understanding of what it actually means. And this is also not like a comfort zone. Pretty good. I like the output of the day. Some nice, clear, readable poses. I would say my from imagination isn't really standing out as incorrect. It sits in the same space, which is good. Which is, you know, one of the purposes why we do this, so that when we do something from our imagination, we can apply the knowledge we've done before. And when you do things like this, quick studies, and when you think about the rotation of the joints, rotation of the volumes with those over the intersecting lines, about the volumes like an ellipse going forward like that. And when you think about all these things when you're looking at the reference, and when you're doing it yourself, you can apply that and learn much faster. Miss Monsta, it's because you're scared. Do more of this. Do more. All right. So we did the study. It feels good. Let's raid someone. If anyone, that's a pretty cool painting. All right, let's raid her. We haven't raided her in a long time. So as per usual, see you guys tomorrow. See you on Discord. Have a great day. A good night if you're in that part of the world. And see you guys tomorrow morning. Outro is going, and after outro, I will switch us all over. So make sure to join the raid. Bye, everyone.